The linking of the static part with the current affairs part is very important, and in our classes we will be linking both these parts so that you will understand and you will be able to solve the question in the exam hall. Hello everyone, welcome to Plutus IAS. My name is Yashbir Rohilla and I am going to discuss science and technology part with you. In today's discussion, I will be covering briefly about the significance, about the various challenges to study science and technology and the approach we will be having while discussing science and technology in the following classes that we will be covering today. And briefly about myself, I have been an aspirant for the UPSC Civil Services exam. In that journey, I appeared for the interview 4 times. And along with that, I also gave interview in the state public service commissions of various states like Haryana and the Rajasthan. And with you people, I will be teaching you science and technology. This is my brief introduction. Let us start discussing about today's lecture. First, the flow as I discussed now, it will be like significance for science and technology in the CSE exam, challenges and the approach. First, we start discussing about the significance of science and technology in the CSE. If we go about discussing significance, then significance of any subject depends on the number of questions UPSC is asking in prelims and the mains exam. In the science and technology part, UPSC has increased weightage in various years. In the prelims exam, if we look at the following figures, then UPSC has asked around 13 questions in the year 2022, and similarly in the 21, 13 questions, and in the 2020, 12 questions. This indicates a significant number of questions are being asked from the science and technology part. Similarly, for the mains part, UPSC has increased its weightage in the mains part as well. For the mains part, if we look at the following year 2021, we will come to know about the real significance of the science and technology in the UPSC exam. Here we can see in the GS paper 3, because science and technology is a part of GS paper 3, in that part there are 2 sections. In the GS mains paper, 2 sections comprise 10 marker questions and the 15 marker questions. Among the 10 marker questions, UPSC asked about 6 questions from the science and technology part, and when it comes to the second part, 15 marker questions, UPSC has asked 3 questions. And these questions, if you look at the nature of these questions are very specific. These cannot be answered by superficial knowledge. So it requires a thorough understanding about the science and technology and various concepts related with these topics. Look at S-400 missile system. It is not only superficial. The questions was framed like that, how it is superior to other systems available with the other countries. For answering that part, you require all the features of the S-400 missile system. Similarly, other topics also very specific. Green Grid initiative, this was one of the initiative in the COP26. So this also requires very deep knowledge to write a good answer for the UPSC in the mains exam. Similarly, other topics were also very specific. Air quality guidelines, micro irrigation, and how it can increase the productivity in the agriculture. Similarly, newer technology, emerging technologies and their role in the how they can be used in handling money laundering. Similarly, one question was related with the cross-border cyber attacks. In the 15 marker, crop diversification and how technology can contribute in the crop diversification. And other topics asked blue LED, for which Nobel Prize was given in that domain only. That's why that topic has become very important. These topics are not random. If we look at the current affairs, then we will come to know from where UPSC is asking all these questions. So in our classes we will be discussing all the science concepts from the current affairs perspective as well as from the static part perspective. This is about the significance of science and technology in the UPSC exam. By these number of many questions, we can understand that we cannot afford to take it very lightly. If we take this exam after leaving science and technology part, because many students think that we can easily score better marks in the prelims and in the mains even without reading science and technology. Nowadays it is not feasible. You cannot afford to ignore science and technology. So it's better that if we have to cover it, we cover it thoroughly and with a proper strategy. In the Plutus IAS, we will be taking you through the proper notes, proper strategy. Before that, we will be discussing now the various challenges students are facing while studying themselves for the science and technology part. If you are reading yourself, then you will come to know that science and technology is a different subject from other subjects. How? In other subjects you can memorize, you can understand by merely reading the paper, by merely reading the content, and you will come to know about the main gist and the crux of the topic. But in the science and technology, you have to be clear about the conceptual part as well, because concept is not well explained or you will not be able to understand by just reading it. You need mentoring, you need a good guide, good teacher who can explain the theme and the concept very clearly to you. And if you understand the theme, it also decreases your effort, because in other subjects you are required to revise regularly again and again, while in science and technology, if you understand the concept, you will not be required to study again and again. You can easily write it with the understanding. So if you understand properly, it will save your time, effort, and it will improve your performance in the exam hall. So that's why this conceptual clarity we will be giving you in our classes. And the second challenge which the students face is about the lack of appropriate understanding about the depth of knowledge required to study the science and technology. This is again one of the biggest challenges. How? If we look at the syllabus of the UPSC says we require general awareness about the general science. So here they are not telling much about the nature and the depth you are required to study, you are required to follow in the science and technology part. And most of the times as a beginner or the students are not able to grasp at what depth I should study the following subject. So here also you require one mentor, one guide who can analyze, assess the appropriate depth to which you should study a particular topic. For example, what do I mean by the depth of a topic? If I take one topic like DNA, in the DNA there can be different layers of information, and different layers can be like DNA. Here it comes under the nucleic acids. One layer of information is nucleic acids. Under nucleic acids we are having DNA, RNA. This is second layer of information. Then if we go on the third layer of information, what is the structure of the DNA and what are the different nitrogenous bases, sugar, like that, and again further deep, what is DNA, gene sequencing, DNA profiling, DNA fingerprinting, DNA barcoding. All these concepts are at different levels of knowledge. So when students read by themselves, they don't know where they should stop, because if they will be covering in depth everything, they will not be able to cover all the topics properly, and this will also waste their time, effort, and it will also not result into good score in the exam hall, because there are some marker, there are some keywords stated by the UPSC which they follow in their exam whole question paper. Here they have stated general awareness of general science. These are the key guiding words for the science and technology part. But the word general awareness, it requires a proper guidance, proper understanding, and that comes by reading previous year question paper and the syllabus, and with the help of a guide who knows about the UPSC pulse, who has himself given various exams of the UPSC in the various years. That I will be sharing with you. By limiting the depth of your information, we can save much of the time. Third, lack of interlinking between the static and the dynamic part. Dynamic, it means the current affairs part. Most of the time UPSC asks about linking static and the dynamic part. If we know the static part, then also we are not able to solve the question paper question in the exam hall. Reason why? Because we don't know the current happening related with the static part. So in our classes we are going to link both these themes, static and the dynamic, and because of that linking we will be able to solve the questions in the exam hall. This can be understood by taking one example. In the year 2022 there was a question on COVID vaccines. There was a statement with that Serum Institute of India manufactured Covishield by the use of mRNA technology. Here, if we see this mRNA and technology, this comes under static part, because this technology was already present and this was already known by the companies. But here, even if you know this mRNA and the technology, you will not be able to solve this question. Why? Because you also require this current affairs based knowledge here. What it requires, whether Serum Institute of India used the same technology, one part. Second, name of the vaccine of the Serum Institute. So without these two added information, you will not be able to solve this question. That's why I am telling you the linking of the static part with the current affairs part is very important. And in our classes, we will be linking both these parts so that you will understand and you will be able to solve the question in the exam hall. And this happens in every question because UPSC interplays with the words. They generally try to confuse you by changing the name of the vaccine or the manufacturer, and even if you know this technology, then also you think that every part of the statement would be right, and finally you get it wrong in the exam hall. We will be focusing on all these aspects in the lectures. After discussing all the challenges, it is advised to all the students that either you take the help of any senior, any mentor, or join classes so that you will understand all these challenges cannot be solved as a beginner. So better to take the help of others. And after discussing the challenges, in today's brief discussion, I will be sharing the vision, how we are going to deal with all the challenges in the coming classes. In the approach part, we will focus on the NCERT plus current affairs till date. See, NCERT provides us the basic content, basic understanding, but the conceptual part sometimes is beyond understanding. So we will be focusing to explain the conceptual part very clearly in our classes. Along with that, we will be covering all the happenings related with the static concept till now. And the things will not stop here only. We will be keeping an eye what will be happening in the near future so that you are ready for the exam hall for anything new in the prelims and the mains exam. For example, in few days back, there was an article on genetic diversity in Indian subcontinent. This is carried out by California University. And if we discuss it further, California University made a statement that because of endogamous marriages in Indian subcontinent, there is a rise in cardiac disease in the Indian subcontinent. Like this information, there are a number of other themes and other topics which we will be covering, and we will be keeping you up to date, so that you need not to refer any other source for the science and technology part. With this brief discussion for today's lecture, we will be ending today's discussion, and in the next class we will be covering few PYQ questions, and we will be trying to justify and to elaborate all the challenges and the approach part in those questions, through those questions, and the same we will be doing it for the mains part. I hope you will understand my key points and what I am trying to convey you, that science and technology should not be underestimated if you are focusing on the UPSC and its related exams. Thank you very much.